What's a real fact that some people don't want to accept? When it comes to arguing, stating facts rarely change people's minds. Nothing really changes anyone's mind. I can't even imagine what it would take to change somebody's mind when it comes to politics or religion. Especially not a few facts said in an argument. It takes people years to change from liberal to conservative or the other way around. There's a reason it's a basic rule of good company to not discuss politics or religion. Most people think they're slightly more intelligent than the average person. They're not. Myself included. This realization hit me hard as a young college kid. I was one of those big fish, small pond kids when it came to academics. Got to college and learned that real fast. On the other side of the coin, when I was first dating my now ex-wife, I met her family. Her brother-in-law asked what I did and said I went to college and worked nights. His response, "College? What are you, gay?" They literally, and I'm not kidding, thought I was gay because I went to college. My nephew thought I was gay until he was 18 because I went to college. Just so you know what the tail end of the spectrum is like. Things don't get better if you don't try to make them better. A. You are responsible for things that go wrong. B. Some things that go wrong are completely nothing to do with you, and you cannot change that fact. The two most unpleasant facts of life. I would say A is incorrect. I think it's more accurate to say you aren't always at fault for things that go wrong, but you still have to deal with the consequences. Obesity is not healthy and is generally from eating too much. I lost 70 plus lbs pretty much just by watching my calories and moving a little more. It was a simple process, albeit not always an easy one. But when people ask me what my secret is, you'd think I'm telling them advanced alien voodoo rocket science or something. It's obvious they're expecting me to give them some sort of magic trick that will do all the work for them, like a pill or something. And then come the lame, unprovoked excuses like, "Oh, that would never work for me. Fatness just runs in my family." That's a direct quote from a cow walker. Or I could totally do that too. "I'm just too busy to plan out all my meals." Or they claim the science is always changing about what is considered healthy and unhealthy, and the list goes on and on. I like to play a fun game where I tick off a mental checklist all the excuses I said to myself too when I hear them being said right back to me. XD. People want to believe that losing weight is easy but very complicated, when in reality it is the exact opposite. People don't dislike you because you're honest, they dislike you because you're an asshole. LMAO, I felt this one. I'd always believed that being straightforward and refusing to pretend to like someone was the only right way to do things, and that when people would hate me for it, it was because I was honest about them. Turns out that's not how it always works, and you can't always justify being an asshole to people claiming you're just being frank with them. I'm still pretty rude sometimes, but I'm working on it. Comes with experience, I suppose. Indeed, I came to this realization the hard way as well. For me, I was just so obtuse about social signaling. When I missed stuff I felt like people were lying to me, when in fact they were just trying not to be assholes, or interacting in a totally normal way that didn't involve hitting someone over the head with their message. My rebellion against the rampant dishonesty of this world was to be the one truly honest person around, and demand it of others. Boy, was I hard to be around. We are all living in the most wonderful time in the history of the world. This is a hard fact for a lot of people to accept. They would much rather think the end times are coming than appreciate how much we as a species have overcome. We can certainly do more to improve ourselves as a whole, and it is a duty to do better, but right now is one of the best times in human history to be alive. Well, you're right and also a bit wrong. Correct. This is probably the best time to be a human ever in history. Also correct. The end times are coming. The actions we have taken to make this the most comfortable time in history are also going to destroy the basis for that existence at a very fast rate. And the only way to avoid the worst aspects of that fate involved giving up some of our comforts. Vaccines do not cause autism, you absolute pebbles. Vaccines can cause an increase in the world's population, and a larger population will have more autistic people in it. Yes, exactly. I have used this argument with a friend of mine, but she still does not seem to get it. With advancements in medicine, We are having more successful births, less children are dying, we have a bigger population, that makes an increase in all of these other problems. She was trying to say that vaccines can also cause dementia. No. People are just living longer, so they get more dementia cases. Being in the army doesn't make you a hero. Being anti-war does not mean you hate the troops. I 100% agree. I'm active duty for the National Guard, but do I support war? Hell no. I won't say I'm 100% anti-war, because I obviously still have to do my job and give out weapons. But mentally, I don't want war. I don't want to kill anyone or destroy their homes. And I hope that I never have to do it. It sucks that the mentality here is we're always preparing for war. A major earthquake is going to happen at any point where we are. Why can't we prepare for that? Or for tornadoes? Why can't we help clean up the neighborhood every once in a while? All we do is clean weapons, check vehicles, and check gear. Why can't our army do something good for the earth? We need days to plant flowers and trees and crap. You shouldn't have a child if you can't afford or look after one. And that doesn't just mean money. You need to spend time raising a child, because otherwise, even though my uncle may disagree, you'll end up with kids that don't have any relationship at all with you. A lot of fathers do this. They think that being a father just means make as much money as possible, so my kid will have the most materially comfortable life. They don't understand that the marginal value of money decreases as income/wealth increase. If I were a poor child and didn't have adequate food, clothing, housing, and lived in a violent neighborhood, I would absolutely want my father to take a job with long hours or frequent travel in order to get me into better material circumstances. But if my father made $120,000 a year and I already had plenty of food, clothing, toys, books, school supplies, and lived in a spacious house in a safe neighborhood, I would not want him to take a job that paid $180,000 if it meant he was on business travel half the time. That not everybody is nice, or even capable of becoming decent people. Some people are just bad, and functioning psychopaths are all around us. Also, not all psychopaths are serial killers, and not all serial killers are psychopaths. Most psychopaths are functioning members of society: surgeons, lawyers, soldiers, pro sports, etc. All areas where having overly active emotions are detrimental to the task at hand. Kevin Dutton has done extensive research and wrote several books on the topic. Most people conflate psychopaths with sadists. They are exclusive and different issues. America is not immune to uprisings, dictatorships, and the collapse of democracy. If we allow it, it can happen here, just as it has happened in other countries. The only real reason it has never happened before is because we're such a young country. It never happened before. What do you call a civil war? Aggressive negotiations? You know, with a lightsaber. Wait. Almost every society in history has had some form of slavery. In general, don't buy Nestle products. Those greedy men milked California's water and then resold it in bottles of water. Ike. Most water bottle companies do though, so don't support water bottles either, unless you're looking to refill your water in BPA-free water bottles. Chances are, your tap water is cleaner than bottled water, which might just come from tap anyways. Unless you live in Flint or a developing/undeveloped country, your tap water is cleaner than bottled water, which might just come from tap anyways. Yeah, bottled water has done a good job of convincing people bottled water is safer than tap water, and that's just not true. Companies like Nestle are not held to the same strict standards that actual public water utility companies are.